Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Dungeon Speak podcast, a D&D campaign based on Greek mythology. My name is Todd, and I will be the DM of this adventure. Now the players will say hello themselves.
Yo, what up? I'm Dylan. I play Blouts, the Human Ranger.
Hello, my name is Darren, and I play Seltra, the Drow Artificer, sir.
Hello. My name is Brittany, and I play Laurel, the Half-Elf Paladin.
Hello, my name is Becca, and I play Mavari, the Tiefling Sorcerer.
Unfortunately, James will be unable to join us because he is out doing a good job while we sit on our asses and play a game. Loud crashes and booming sounds could be heard echoing for miles. It was as if a thunderstorm was constantly striking the ground, 2, maybe 3 per second. The boom was persistent. For weeks, giant rocks the size of a marketplace crashed down on the last bastion for the Titans. 3 enormous and monstrous creatures were the cause of it. They were called the 100-Handed Ones. They were giant humanoid monsters with 50 heads and 100 arms. It is said that each head controls a set of arms. It is also rumored that once upon a time Kronos tried to live in peace with these creatures, but they were full of rage and anger and attacked the Titans. Unfortunately, for the only 4 Titans left in this large structure, Kronos was gone, and Zeus had brokered an alliance with the 100-Handed Ones. The structure itself was built into the side of a mountain. The entrance was large and inviting. The steps accommodated the large and the small, and led from the doorway made of iron minerals all the way to the base of the mountain, hundreds of feet down. Inside were seats, tables, and basic decorations. This was a place of meeting, stories, and family. It was never meant to be the last place Titans would plan a counterattack. Yet, deep inside this structure, Atlas leaned over a map of the surrounding area. It had drawings of the mountains that the monsters were breaking down in order to assault the building from a distance. The room itself was bare. The room was magically lit to give a daylight glow around the room. Large chairs with simple yet comfortable cushions circled the room, and a large table made up the center of the room, the table that held the local map. The crashing sounds could be heard, but the vibration of the rocks were too far to feel. He looked at the map, and in real time, 3 large 100-handed ones were throwing boulders. Hecate looked on as her magic brought the map to life. Atlas's large form loomed over the map like an eclipse. His long and brown hair was full of life. His body was tense and hard from the many battles that led to this moment. His brown leather armor barely covered him to ensure full mobility. He was the strongest Titan to ever live and knew no equal. However, the 3 creatures were not his concern. His main concern was the lack of visibility of the Olympians. He knew Zeus, Hera, Hestia, Demeter, Hades, Poseidon, and who knows who else was waiting for the Titans to slip up. Atlas took a deep breath and looked around the room at all the empty seats. Then he shifted his focus on the Titans that were present.
Pallas, is there a likely ambush point that the Olympians would most likely use? If we can expect them there, then we can offer up a counter-attack or avoid it completely.
Pallas, a battle-worn Titan that surpassed all of his siblings in battle and warcraft, rubbed his chin and looked over the map. Pallas was a sight of nightmares to some. His form was a black mass that was ever moving, and usually was in the shape of a relatively humanoid figure, but he often bore 3 arms instead of 2. 2 of his more humanoid arms carried a shield and 3-bladed polearm that were all gray, but his 3rd arm was massively large and used in battle to offset his opponent or to use the environment around him. He had black wings that rippled like waves in a river. Sometimes faces would surface in his wings and scream out. Pallas rarely thought about the top of his head, so it was often exposed, showing a black mass that was moving and growing as he thought. The only color about him were his bright and white glowing eyes. Deep scars from previous battles with the Olympians covered his chest, stomach, and arms. Pallas looked at the surrounding mountains and pointed at a choke point in the low valley.
Here, maybe?
Atlas shook his head slowly.
No, they know we will not take the low ground.
Why do you care? We're about just go.
Menoetius, a titan known for being rash, was pacing the back of the room.
Because he is afraid.
Hecate's voice trailed off as she stared over at Atlas. Atlas looked up towards Hecate and then at Menoetius.
Our strength will not mean much with the Olympians having the numbers and those giants.
Atlas said flatly as he looked back at the map.
Whatever our decisions, as long as we stand together, then we can overcome the Olympians and the monsters from Tartarus.
Pallas said as he stood straight, gripping his polearm. Hecate stood and started walking towards the door leading out of the room. Her long brown and tattered dress dragged on the floor. Her large-brimmed hat that funneled down to a point bobbed around behind her head, and her brown heels clicked on the ground with her slow steps. She turned to Atlas and looked into his eyes. His stare was stern, but she looked at him emotionlessly. Her long and wavy blue hair sparkled with white streams of magic flowing through it. Moving around her hair were white sparkles of spirits that she considered her friends. This long hair came to a point at her calves. Her black eyes became sockets, and her face shifted from a young woman to the shape of a human skull.
Atlas, take heart in knowing that you tried. I will keep your memory with me and the spirits I commune with. But should you look around, it will become obvious which path to take. Phoebe, someone who knows all futures, is gone. She decided to leave the fight. Kronos, the firstborn and the most powerful of us all, is gone. Poisoned and locked away. You have done well. Should you perish, then I will bring you back. You would make a mighty animal.
With that, Hecate turns and leaves. As she exits the room, it dims to a dull and dark chamber. The only light comes from Menoetius, who flares up with rage.
Greater.
Menoetius is a product of emotion, passion, and rage. He has short and tousled black hair on a skinless body. His muscles are all joined into one form, and a force of energy flows through and around him like nerves, tendons, and electricity. His pure white eyes flare as he paces.
Her choices are her own, as goes with all of us. We are the rightful rulers of everything. We are the children of creation. We will fight back, and we will win.
Atlas slams his fist on the map as the animated illusions slowly fade out of existence. As he slams his fist, however, the barrage of boulders ceases. Menoetius roars and runs out of the room.
Now is our chance. We should kill the giants, then the Olympians.
Atlas raises a hand and then goes to a chair nearby to get his spiked mallet.
Wait.
Pallas, seeing Atlas pick up his mallet, holds his shield to its chest, points his polearm downward, and charges out of the room. Atlas looks back at the map before running out of the room, a feeling of dread starting to consume him. As Atlas quickly walks through the old stone corridors of the mountain refuge, he looks at the art done by his siblings and extended family. Oceanus came up with the perfect blend of color so that the view would be as beautiful as the eye could see. The moving mural seems still now. He can only hope that Oceanus is okay. He has lost touch with so many of his kin in the last years of the war. Atlas turns left at the dead end, admiring the work of Rhea. She was always watching over everyone and cared deeply for her family. She had an elaborate and interactive painting done of Prometheus and Epimetheus. On one side of the wall that made up this three-way intersection was Prometheus and Epimetheus. At the other end was a large and deadly boar. One could walk up to the boar and direct it where to go, and Prometheus and Epimetheus would always react. However, no matter where you moved the boar, Prometheus would always end up triumphant over the slain boar, and Epimetheus would end up hurt and on the ground. This was a famous jest amongst the family of the two siblings. One was always clever and thinking ahead, but the other was always missing obvious hazards around him. Another sharp right turn down another long stone hallway, and Atlas would be at the main entrance. Usually light would be swimming through the hallways, but with Hyperion dispatched, all of the light in any domain that the Titan still held was snuffed out and dark. As Atlas entered the main foyer, he had to stop for a moment. Floating around the room were stars, celestial balls of light, and galaxies being created. As someone walked through the room, the lights would move around them and recollect after an individual passed by. It was amazing to see what Creus was creating each and every day. This is why the Titans must not lose. The future of all life depends on him defeating these Olympian intruders. Atlas started out the door, gripping his mallet, and started walking briskly out to the mountainside. As Atlas stepped outside, he was horrified at the scene. Just at the top of the steps, leading down the side of the mountain, was a gaping hole about 8 feet wide. Lightning crackled through it, and he could see no end. Atlas quickly looked around for his kin. He saw no signs of Menoetius, but he saw Pallas blocking a bolt of lightning with his shield. He could see Zeus, the newest Olympian, flying on a streak of lightning. He was hovered several hundred feet off the ground, but only 100 feet out from the mountain itself. Luckily, Atlas's strength affords him a strong jump. Atlas held his mallet in one hand and took a couple of steps back, and sprinted off the mountain. As he jumped out in the open air, he took his mallet in both hands, held it behind his head, and aimed the spike forward. With strong momentum, a furious swing, and the power of the strongest being alive, Zeus was struck in his lower right ribs by the mallet of Atlas. Lightning escaped the gaping wound, golden blood sprayed over Atlas's smiling face, and a wail of agony echoed throughout the mountains, just barely covering the sound of bones breaking throughout Zeus's body. However, happy with the results or not, both Zeus and Atlas started falling down the mountainside. Atlas landed on his feet, leaving a large imprint of his body on the side of the mountain, and Zeus landed on his back and started rolling down the mountain. Atlas roared out in a primal show of strength and ran down the mountainside to finish off Zeus. As Zeus rolled to the bottom of the mountain, bleeding and with broken bones, Atlas charged with strength and the momentum of gravity. He raised his mallet again, but as he swung down, a golden trident used Atlas's own movement against him. Atlas was thrown to the side, stumbled, and slid several yards, moving dirt and rocks as he did. Atlas turned to see another young Olympian. This Olympian had curly hair and a curly beard. It almost looked a blue color. His physique was well sculpted, but he was bare other than a cloth around his waist. Atlas gritted his teeth.
Poseidon!
Poseidon moved and took a defensive stance in front of Zeus, who was already starting to recover. Atlas smiled at this young Olympian. Atlas swung his mallet to the side from his hip. He swung in a wide arc and had the head of the mallet further than Poseidon's body. He knew this left the Olympian with two choices. He could take the blow from the shaft of the mallet and suffer blunt damage, or he could try to outrun the swing, but would most likely take a hit from the spiked mallet head. Poseidon raised his trident with both hands to block the shaft of the mallet. He did not know the strength of Atlas. The shaft collided with the trident and continued its momentum. It struck Poseidon hard to the side and sent him reeling. The trident stayed in Poseidon's hand as his body made a distance of 40 feet very quickly. He had no time to recover. As Atlas came down from the sky, Atlas had made a jump and brought his knee down hard in the center of Poseidon. He heard crunching and breaking. Then he heard Poseidon gasping for air. Atlas smirked as he stood. He rolled his shoulders and swung his mallet a couple of times as he turned to Zeus. Atlas, smiling, looked up to see if Pallas was coming yet. Then his smile quickly faded. At the top of the mountainside, where Pallas was being struck by lightning, he was on his knees. His polearm was on the ground beside him. His shield was still in his hand, but one arm and his third arm were on each side of his head. He wasn't screaming, crying out in any way, or fighting. In front of him stood two women. One had a simple white dress on, which had an intricate girdle and soft features. She had long blonde hair and a purple cloak on her back. The other woman had brown hair, slightly curly and down her back. She had blue eyes and a brown dress that only started at her cleavage and went to the ground. The blue-eyed one was the worst of the two. Atlas recognized them as Hestia and Hera, but he knew those blue eyes hid a rage that only a Titan could understand. They were both glowing a soft golden color as Pallas kneeled idly in front of them. As Atlas screamed out for his cousin, a dark mist formed around the ground behind Pallas and then rose. As the mist rose, it became larger and formed outward. It encompassed Hestia, Hera, and Pallas. Then, after a few seconds, as Atlas started to run towards the base of the mountain, the mist started shrinking. He stopped and stared, waiting to see what would happen to his cousin. However, when the mist shrank and seeped into the ground, Hera was gone, Hestia was gone, and Pallas was nowhere in sight. All Atlas could see was an ominous dark figure looking down at him from the mountain where the mist had just been. The man was dark in tone, his skin was gray like ashes, and his hair was black and hung loose just past his shoulders. The man wore simple plaited pauldrons that were layered across his shoulders, and they made layers from his belt down past his knees. Unlike many of his kin, this Olympian's armor was a dull brass, and he had a stern look on his face, his orange eyes glowing in the evening light. Atlas had never seen this one before. As Atlas gritted his teeth and started to quickly scale the mountain, bushes, crops, and thick brush grew suddenly around him. He swung his mallet around and waded through the foliage with his large, hulking legs. However, it slowed him down a lot, and he lost sight of the figure. He started walking backwards, but heard soft whispering around him. He readied his mallet and started back down the mountain. As he stepped back onto the flat land, a woman was in front of him. Hestia was staring into his eyes. She whispered softly. She whispered sweet and soothing words. His grip on his mallet softened, and as she spoke, the grass and mountains behind her became a glowing field of sunshine and beautiful trees. She faded away into this place of peace, and he could hear laughing and singing. In front of him, people cheered. He could see Oceanus waving, mortals cheering him to come sit by the trees with them, and he saw Kronos and Rhea holding out their hands for him to come and see their new baby. The new baby that would fight them. The Kronos that was poisoned, stabbed, and sent somewhere in secret. The Rhea that was probably dead. Murdered by these new Olympians. Atlas gritted his teeth and screamed out. He thrust his mallet straight out and made an impact. After a second, he was back in the evening valley. Zeus was starting to move around, Poseidon still gasping for air, and Hestia lay unconscious in front of Atlas. Her face was broken inward. He could see her jawbone through torn skin. Her teeth were shattered, and her cheekbone was no more. He was not sure where one of her eyes had gone. He roared out in anger and stepped over to kill Zeus. As he stepped over Hestia, he was caught off balance. A dagger sank into his eye, and he cried out in pain. The dagger was a golden color, and the pommel had a purple gem at the bottom of it. Rolling backwards, away from Atlas, was Hera, becoming visible and holding another dagger of the same make and color. She smiled with her blue eyes. She went low and slid past his leg, cutting the posterior tibial tendon. This tendon runs down the backside of the leg near the lower tendon and bends at the ankle and inserts to the bones and inner foot. It holds the arch and supports the foot when walking. As it is cut, Atlas stumbles forward a little as he reaches for the dagger in his eye. Hera, swiftly moving around, stabs into his femoral artery on his inner leg, cutting off the blood flow to his leg. Atlas's right hand reaches up for the dagger as his leg starts to give way under one side of his body. He grunts and tries to suppress the cries of pain as her dagger slices again. She is about 2 feet shorter than Atlas, but she quickly stands in one motion, pushes her legs up, jumping and cutting in a smooth motion. As he reaches for the dagger again, he feels cold and numbness in his right arm as Hera cuts into his brachial artery. This artery supplies the muscles in the posterior part of the arm. Injury to the brachial artery can seriously affect the hand as it is the only blood supply, and it shows as Atlas feels his palm down the dagger but cannot grip his hand around it. As Hera lands and slides on her left to break down Atlas's left side, she feels a hand around her throat. Atlas's large grip squeezes her windpipe as he lifts her small figure to face his large and broad frame. Blood pours down his face from his eye socket where the dagger is, and he just glares at her. Her eyes turn red, her lips become a pale red, and her skin goes flush as her throat squeezes tighter. She tries to stab him in the arm, but he uses his right arm to bat the dagger out of her hand. Once her eyes close and he feels her body go limp, then he tosses her aside. Atlas, realizing he dropped his mallet, reaches down with his left hand, picks it up, and walks over towards Zeus. Zeus was starting to sand. The sound of crunching could be heard as Zeus's broken ribs were still healing. Atlas was dragging half of his body to Zeus, also starting to heal. Atlas, determined to finish off Zeus, raised his mallet to his shoulder as he approached.
You will not win, Olympian.
Zeus steadied himself and reached out, firing lightning directly into Atlas's arm where Hera made a deep cut. Lightning coursed through Atlas's body. He felt stiff. He could smell his own nerves burning, and the lightning made the short jump to his heart. Atlas, feeling stiff and numb, steadily and slowly made his way towards Zeus, gritting through the pain. There was a thunk sound as Atlas felt something pierce the back of his leg at the knee. He looked down, annoyed, and heard a slight ticking sound and then a slice. A spring let loose blades out of the side of this large javelin head that pierced him. It moved out in a circular motion with such force that it cut his leg off at the knee. Atlas fell back and to the side, only having full use of his left arm at this point. He looked behind him to see a large and bulky man limping up to him, wielding some kind of contraption. It looked almost like a crossbow, but was on a platform. It also was very large, about twice the size of Atlas. This man was very tan, covered in black specks of soot, and had a rugged look about him. He had short black hair, a stubbled black beard, and black eyes. Atlas also noticed that this man had a misshapen foot and looked very young. Atlas, looking back at Zeus, yelled no and said,
I am Atlas. I am a Titan.
His head fell back as his numb body was hard to maintain. Zeus, walking over, his hands and arms crackling with lightning, stared down at Atlas. Hestia, holding her face together as it regenerated, used her other hand to help up a healing Hera. Poseidon, barely able to breathe still, was standing and told Zeus,
We cannot let him live. He will try again. You saw his determination to kill you. It will only fester.
Zeus, taking deep breaths, slowly nodded. As he nodded, he stood on Atlas's left arm, letting lightning flow through him and into Atlas, keeping his arm numb. However, Hera, rubbing her throat, slowly approached the group. She looked at the young man, nodding with approval, and then her face twisted in disgust as she looked at his lame leg. She focused back on the Titan and spoke towards Zeus.
No, you must let them live. If he dies, then the other Titans might see him as a martyr. He needs to remain a living symbol of what happens when you fight against the Olympians. He needs a punishment that he cannot escape.
She glares down at Atlas, puts her foot on his chest, and slowly slides the dagger out of his eye socket. He is slowly starting to heal, and his good eye looks deep into her blue eyes. He can see the hatred that lies behind them, the wickedness and cruelness that her future will bring. She softly says to him,
Tell me, Titan, do you feel fear?
Atlas puts on a stern face. Zeus puts a hand on her shoulder, and they smile at each other. Then Atlas looks upward from his prone position, just in time to see Poseidon forcefully bringing his trident down into the head of Atlas.
Hello there, my name is Todd, and you are listening to the Dungeon Speak Podcast.
He leads you to this room where you see there's actually very few men, but the men in here, they do have the red tunics and the bronze armor over their caps, bronze helmet, but they do have like the red feathers coming out of the top. I forgot what it's a P word, but it's damn it.
A plume.
Like the red, a plume. Thank you. They have red plumes coming out of the top of their bronze helmets. They have spears. They have the large shields, but they have like a white armor, like a leather armor over their red tunics, and their shields, large and bronze, bigger than their torsos, all have kind of like a red. It almost looks like an upward arrow, like it's just like a triangle without the bottom bar on all of their shields. And this man who looks very, very tired and older, probably lower 50s, upper 40s. He's overlooking what looks like a city of a map. And you can see there's a whole bunch of pawns knocked over and on the side of this table. And then there's like some black, just chiseled ones that really don't have any features. And it's covering most of the map of the city. And he looks up and he says, "Well, you're strange looking. How can I help you?"
We're here to help.
"Oh, bring the gods, do you? Tell Zeus to come on down and join the fight whenever he's ready."
I don't, we were sent by someone else.
He just kind of looks at you.
I look at Mavari. Do you think it's wise of me to say?
I don't.
We have powerful benefactors that wish for us to help you. And we're here to help you. But
I don't really have time for games. Who are you here representing? You can either say it or you can be on your way. This is not the time to be playing.
you know, we just lost a friend who blew up a tunnel to keep the demons from coming here on the back end of this army and tearing you all to pieces. I assume that her sacrifice would have been enough. We can help you, and we can prove to you that we can help you. But given the sensitive information that we have, I don't think that telling you where we're from is the wisest idea right now. Now, would you like our help or would you not?
He leans on the table. He just looks at you. Sacrifice. Almost everybody in this room, their whole family is dead. Wives, children, friends, everybody. Mentors, apprentices, people still going through a gauche. All dead. I'm sorry for your friend. But this is a time of war. Sacrifice is natural. So don't come in here and tell me of sacrifice and then demand that I listen to you. If you have something important to say, then do it. Otherwise, we are okay. We know how to fight as one. You were not trained in our ways. You would be more of a problem than a solution. This is the way it is.
Mavari will step forward in front of Laurel.
The fuck are you?
We weren't sent by the Olympians. Your gods, those gods, have all but abandoned you.
You see a couple of them put their hands on their hilts of their swords, and he just kind of holds up his hand.
However, the Titans have sent us. Kronos, Phoebe, they've sent us to help you. We may not look like the strongest bunch or an entire army, but I guarantee our help will be more valuable than you think. Not only do we have an experienced fighters, and she points at Laurel and Bloutz, we have intelligent people who could help strategize, and she points at Seltra and Atir. And myself, you will never find a better healer than myself unless it's with the gods. our magic and our strength is what you will need to help fight back the demons. I also have a lot of knowledge on demons. If you look at me, I come from a place where they thrive and live. But this army has slaughtered too many, and we're here to help.
He just looks at you a little puzzled. Titans. I thought they were all dead.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for thinking.
He laughs. His men just kind of like look at each other. Oh, lady, if you were a Spartan, you'd be a queen with that fucking attitude of yours.
She gets that a lot.
Yeah, she does.
Master of sass.
He kind of looks around at everybody else, away from Mavari. Does she speak true about the Titans?
Yeah.
Oh, Chaz, that was a giant fiery man.
Yeah.
And, what would you like in exchange?
Helping you?
Yeah,
We were just...
there's no such thing as free help.
Well, I nudge Mavari.
The Titans are trying to regain this world to make it a better and peaceful place. We're going
He
to
raises his eyebrows.
we're going to help you against this demon army, but we also ask that you help them when they need it.
Is that intimidation or persuasion?
Probably
Persimidation.
persuasion. She's not very. I don't think she could intimidate anybody other than like just with her face.
Feels like you're invoking some powerful friends. It's like, don't worry, my friend Bill Gates will get this bill. Go ahead, roll persuasion.
Don't be bad.
If you want to do it with advantage, because Laurel did a lot of talking up about you guys.
Okay. 25.
Alright, this human, he looks down at the map. You see all the black pawns. The very few ones that look like, that resemble their symbols for Spartans. He kind of listens for the sounds outside, the fires. You can hear people fighting in the distance, up the tunnels, trying to keep them back at the one doorway. The men around the room, they all look tired. They all look very discouraged and unhappy. He says, "We've been fending off the demons for 2 months. Food is low, water is low, morale is low. King, Archidamius, he died pretty quick. Our 5 Euphorites, they died after that. I would beg of you, not ask, beg, plead, bargain. Take our children west of here. There is a safe place. I've heard about it. It's called Olympia. Don't get it confused with Olympus, just for the record, since you're out-of-towners. Take the children there, and the younger women who are unfit to fight, pregnant ones. Take them there, and I will do anything you or your..." He kind of looks up a little bit and at the other bend. "Your Titans ask." And he cuts his hand on a dagger that he had in his waistband, and then he holds it out towards you, Mavari.
Is this some kind of oath thing?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. We have what's called a blood oath here. You have my word, and if I break it, you can have my life.
It's like a promise, Mavari.
Yeah, a little stronger, but yeah.
Yeah, like a promise.
Mavari will walk closer and take the dagger and cut her hands as well and shake his hand.
Alright. He says, "Sparty Myron will lead you to the children. Please, get them to safety. And you can tell your Titans, I guess, come on in."
I mean, I'm... Okay. I don't know if we
Sure
can do
they
that.
already know.
The Titanes.
Stop.
You see some of the men around you do not look thrilled about this decision.
It's okay.
You hear one of them kind of like grit his teeth. Zeus will have your head.
He's tried.
I'm sure.
I wasn't gonna say that, but I mean, you already did. Go up and whisper to him, "This is Hercules' bow." I'm kidding. I don't do that.
His eyes go wide. He stops talking.
You know, they always come, but they never comment on the lion.
The
lion
belt
skin,
that
yeah,
he's
like
wearing.
He's totally wearing that thing.
I thought about it, but I was like, I wonder if more people would have that than just Hercules. Because, I mean,
the Nemean
lions
lion
aren't...
was
It's the
a
Nemean
very,
lion.
yeah, it was a very specific lion. I feel
Yes.
like people
Yeah.
recognize that.
I've kind of wondered if they'd recognize it, though. Because Hercules didn't exactly strut through Sparta and be like, sup. I don't know why he never did, but whatever. Oh, no, wait, no.
He
Sup.
would have, I
Trying to
feel
remember.
like. If
Yeah.
he
If
was
they
around during
recognized
his
his
period.
bow, then they would recognize the lion.
Yeah, so... Yeah.
I mean,
so
he doesn't...
Blouts are kind of just looking at you, like, with the side eyes, like, man,
Why does that lion look
Looks-
familiar?
it looks so familiar. Quick stab and find out. No. One of the men standing there, he kind of like looks at his other brothers, and then he looks at you guys, and he goes, Do you really know Titans? Like, are they real?
Yes.
God, it's crazy.
Definitely. Yeah, we totally do. I was even blessed by a Titan. I would show you, but that means I have to take my armor off, and I don't feel like doing it.
Oh, no. He kind of holds up his hand. My wife would hurt me if I saw another woman without her clothes on.
No,
Please.
I have clothes under here.
Don't.
I have clothes under here. I'm not that kind of woman.
She gets very jealous. I prayed every day that we'd be saved. I never thought it would be by the evil Titans.
I feel like evil is a subjective thing.
I do too.
In this circumstance, possibly.
The one who talks a lot, she looks evil, so yeah, you're right.
Mavari is very sweet, even though she doesn't want you to think that.
Yes, but you knew who I was talking about.
Oh gosh, she totally looks evil as hell.
It's just
Get
my
it.
face.
It's just
He points at Laurel because she knows what hell is.
Just my face.
Mavari has what's known as resting evil phase.
Before you guys
very
leave
common
the
where she
room,
comes from.
the general will say, I have one more request, actually. We have a princess. She's hidden away, but
In a castle?
I believe your intentions are true. I wish you to take her with you and the children.
Oh?
Her name is Siniska.
Sinistar.
Siniska.
Siniska.
Yeah. Princess Siniska, she can't remain here. She's not made for this. He kind of like lowers his voice. She was always kept out of the proper upbringing. She's spoiled as a child.
Well, how old is she?
She's roughly 22.
37.
She's good with chariots, but I mean, that's about it. She can tame a horse very quickly,
Oh, can she?
but she doesn't know how to use a bow.
Do you guys actually have horses here?
He kind of looks sad a little bit. We used to.
Now I look sad a little bit. Understood.
You both start crying, talking about each other's horses. Yours was Midnight. He named his Dawn.
Oh, it's a beautiful name.
You share wine, cry for the next 6 hours.
We don't have time for that.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I mean,
My
we
bad
can
then.
take a rest though, because I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but I've got less than 22 hip.
He says, we have some food from out in the city that you can go ahead and take a rest downstairs with the tables. You can chat with anybody you want, I guess. Eat up, and please get the children to safety.
You have a thing for which we can transport children,
Yeah,
like
do you
a
have
cart
a
of some
caravan.
kind.
He just kind of looks at you with a blank expression.
Do you have wood?
Our city is on fire.
Do you have wood and some spare wheels?
goodbye.
Oh God.
Okay, so
Just
I
take
guess,
us to the children and see how many we have to transport.
Yeah, let's do a head count and think of a strategy how to get these kids there as safely and fast as possible.
Myron kind of nods back down the hallway. He says, "Come on, we'll go."
All right.
So you guys follow Myron down. Did you want to eat first or get to the children first?
My God. We'll do the children first because we can eat after.
Yeah, we
Ja.
can
Okay.
strategize while we eat.
Alrighty. He leads you to kind of, looks like a cellar. There's a lot of empty barrels. You can smell the sweet smell of what used to be wine, but it looks like it has all been drank up by now. And in there you see roughly 10 to 12 women and about 30 to 40 children of various ages between 4 and probably 14.
Let me write that down. You said about 10 to 12. Let's just do maximum 12 women and 40 children.
Yes.
That's 52 individuals.
Okay. And one princess. So 53.
Is the princess not amongst these guys?
You do not see her.
Well, we don't know what she looks like, so we couldn't see her if we wanted to.
She doesn't have a crown. So
You don't.
Is a
Assume
princess
they-
in this group? And then they say
No,
no.
kind of look up at. There's a little girl who's like raises her hand. She has like a little crown on her head made out of like some kind of twigs.
I'm a princess.
Yes, your father will tell you that's for your whole life, but it doesn't mean it's true.
Clouds.
She smiles.
Damn.
My father's dead.
Clouds.
look what you did. You did that.
She starts crying.
Clouds.
One of the women just kind of glare at you and pat her.
What?
What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Oh, so much, but we don't have time for to unpack that, like, ever.
We're so sorry. He went through a lot in the Feywilds. It's a lot. Blouts, go over there. Don't.
His brain is a little soft.
A little scrambled.
It's a bit smooth. Insults fall right off of it. You can't insult me. I'm too smooth.
I can feel my brain smoothening.
Stop. Is there? You know what? Let's try this instead. Is there a Princess Siniska among you?
They all kind of just stay quiet and look around, and you see one of the older women come up, and she's roughly 40, lower 40s. And you can see she has an apron on that's very dirty. It looks like she's cooking up whatever she can find around. She says, "I'm sorry, dear. The princess is not then here. I believe she's upstairs."
Thank you. We have been tasked with helping getting you all to safety. Once we figure out the full plan, we will come back and brief you on it. My name is Laurel Lightwalker. These are my companions. They can introduce themselves if they so wish. And it is lovely meeting you all. Forgive the comment. I promise we are more compassionate than that.
She kind of gives a light bow. "My name is Jaina. It's good to meet you."
Pleasure to meet you.
My name is
She's all the way
Zelda.
from Scotland.
She didn't exist until like 2 minutes ago. There was an uprising where I'm from. A man named Mel Gibson tried to save us, but he
Oh
couldn't.
no.
Oh, she's also from the fucking future. Holy shit.
Sorry, different game. Alright. So do you guys want to go look for the princess?
Yes.
Alright. Myron accompanies you, just kind of stays with you at this point, and he'll tell you that maybe you could check where the stables used to be. And you can go in there and you can see where the walls caved in, and you can see a couple of stalls where horses used to be kept, and you will see a woman that is in a dress, and it looks like she has a little bit of armor on, but it doesn't look like it fits her very well. She looks very kept up with. Her face is clean, her hair is brushed, and she's just sitting in the straw, and it looks like she has a small wooden figurine of a horse, and she's just holding it. And as you guys walk up, she gets to her feet and kind of I don't want to say hides it, but puts it behind her back in her hands and just says, "Hello there. My name is Princess Siniska. How may I be of service?"
I give her a light bow. I am Laurel Lightwalker, and these are my companions. And I was going to actually ask you the same thing. We're here to help you.
You all look strange. I don't mean any offense. Were you sent by the gods?
We were sent by the Titans. We already went over this.
Not with her.
I mean, I know we didn't go over it with her, but this is a... Fine, do it again.
She just looks wide-eyed.
Fine, do it again.
That's not my job.
We were... He speaks the truth. We were sent by the Titans, and, your general wishes to get, the women, children, and yourself to safety and out of the city.
She kind of looks around a little bit. To be honest, I don't actually know much about the Titans. That wasn't really my study. I apologize.
I don't feel like that's what we asked, but we were just saying we're trying to get you out of the city.
I don't know how to leave, otherwise I would.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to help you get out. Safety.
Myron says that there is possibly another exit out what used to be a makeshift system for getting rid of waste in the city. He says it may have a bit of a smell to it, but he doesn't think, because of the direction it dumps, that the demons would have came through it. Or found
Do you
it
know
yet.
where it lets out to?
He says to the north, a bit, northwest.
A river, or...
He says, "Damn it, lady, stop asking questions before I get the map up."
That's a real weird thing
That's
to
exactly
say.
what he says. It's crazy. I have to zoom way in. Then I gotta remember how to say this shit. He says it dumps out by the Nacian River to the northwest. Sorry, below the amphitheater. Actually, it used to be quite a spectacle up there. You know,
But the 4 times.
for all this.
Does the river flow towards Olympia?
Yes, ma'am.
Seltra,
Huh?
how much can that boat hold?
15.
The big one?
Yes.
Because if we take the river, that might be safer than going on land.
What if we stack all of them very compactly on the boat?
Depends. How big in size do you say a child is? Are we going medium? Small?
Seltra,
I would count them as small.
Because it can fit 15 medium creatures.
So 30 small.
that still
And
isn't enough.
What if we really tightly compacted? Does that matter?
It says comfortably. So, I don't...
That
that's up to-
uncomfortably. We might.
I would say 40 children uncomfortably. The adults could all swim or do something else.
Seltra can walk on water
If you guys
leading
want
the
to go
boat
around.
with a rope.
Seltra.
It's a whole
For
ass
how long?
boat.
Yeah, Seltra. As much as I appreciate him and his skill, I don't think he has the strength to pull a boat full of 40 kids.
Well, water has a less tension than ground, so
I mean, it'll float. But lead the boat, I'm not directing it anywhere. If that river decides to go take the boat, Seltra's not controlling.
Seltra is one with the
Honey,
boat, and it is going that way.
The boat will lead Seltra.
Why don't you just tie like them all to like some tubes and then put them behind it, and then they can just like go tubing down the
If
river.
we can find some trees, I might be able to make a smaller boat.
We can. We'll have a little bit of time to be able to fashion together some rafts, so we can forward it all down the river.
but we need to get to the river first. So let's figure out how we're going to corral the small people.
Children.
Yes. and, then, and then we can go ahead and we're devising a plan.
We're devising a plan.
We're gonna go through the sewers to get to dump out in a river. And they wanted to use the folding boat to carry the children once we got to the river, but it doesn't have enough capacity for 50 or for what was it, like 40 kids, 30 kids?
40 kids.
Well, that's not comfortably. So I was saying that if you pack them all in there, I'll say you can hold 40 children, but like absolutely
Yeah, that's the
nothing
problem. We would need somebody to drive the boat.
So we were going to make.
We need to dump 2 kids so someone could drive the boat.
I suggested that we make some rafts so we can do the boat and some of the rafts. I feel like the river might be safer.
Don't want the kids to be too far away from us because if anything happens, then we wouldn't be able to protect them. I mean, I could shoot, but that'd just be me.
Well, we can. Why don't we devise a plan over dinner now that we kind of know what we're working with, and we can figure it out. Because I think either we build the boats or we walk along the river to follow it straight to Olympia. But walking might be a little dangerous.
Yeah,
How
we also
far
don't know
away is
how
it?
far is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we walk, depending on how wide the river is, we could have somebody in the boat. I don't know.
Is this right? I don't think the boat would be the best idea if we can't fit everyone.
Well, we could have a smaller. Like I can make the boat smaller, so we could go along with it. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
I feel like we might just need to walk.
We need something to put these kids.
That is very true. We could get there if we had carts, so we could pull them along. The children, I'm pretty certain that they're not going to have the stamina to go very fast or very long. And please, let's not forget the women that we are transporting are pregnant. So, same issue.
We end up in the same problem of stuff. So, if we make too much spacious of a movie, we'll be noticed more frequently.
I think a crowd over 50 people is going to pretty much attract just about anything, though.
Yes, but caravans would also draw attention, regardless of if it's in water or not.
We don't even know if this place is safe. He said he heard a rumor. We're just assuming.
Wait, it was just a rumor? I thought it was a fact.
I'm pretty sure he said he heard a rumor that place was safe. Also, when was the last time he's been there? He's been trapped here for 2 months.
That is extremely true. Well, then...
Why don't we ask one of the Titans if they know if it's safe?
That's a very good idea.
Who can do that?
I could ask Nafil or Mavari. You could ask Phoebe.
I can ask Phoebe.
Alright. So, I guess Mavari can ask Phoebe if Olympia is even a good idea. And if it is, then we will chart a course, and we should probably try to figure out how to get a bunch of kids, a bunch of people to there as quickly and safely as possible. That's all I've got for right now. And break. And go give you something to eat.
Myron leads you down to the mess hall, where you can see people are mostly just sitting around with no food.
No food?
Yeah, there's like a sad stew that somebody's like trying to gather stuff still to cook, and he'll tell you that food is hard to come by. So I mean, they eat when they can, but the food goes to people actively fighting first.
I'm a Papa Berry.
I'm a
spoiled.
I'm a pop 3 first level spell slots and make 30 good berries.
Just look sad.
Huh.
And I'm gonna pass them to the guy trying to make a stew.
He just kind of like looks at him. Hey, I guess this'll help some. He'll dump it in there.
You're cooking all the magic out of it.
Let me just double check something.
I don't think.
It's making this weird bubble. That's strange. Man, thanks. I appreciate it.
Well, I guess until Mavari can communicate with Phoebe, we need to just, I guess, for now, prepare to move the children, and the women. What are we going to do?
Send in the children.
Dangerous, that child. We
Are we moving out today?
No, goodness, no.
Then.
We need time to actually think. We can't just move without. I mean, these people can't defend themselves. We need to have a proper plan.
Are there?
Myron is mostly staying out of your conversation, but he will add that it'll take about an hour for them to get the children together and ready for the road if you wanted to head out.
Do y'all not have any kind of boats or rafts lying around, like, left in town? The demons absolutely destroyed them.
He says, no, we have some that'll probably be by the riverbank. But it's hard to say for sure. We haven't really been out
Got it.
fishing.
Would it be wise for us to pretty much walk the path first to make sure that everything is clear, to kind of see what we're looking at? Like, go through the sewer, go to the river, see how deep it might be, see if maybe there's anything out there, because the sewer might be dangerous.
I think another thing that we can try doing is I can try scribing some spells down to help traverse.
Such as?
Pass without trace.
Mhm.
The amount of space would not cover all of the people at once, but if there's two people casting it, from me casting it once and a second person casting it in a second group, we would be able to sneak easier out of the city. It lasts an hour, so we can get at least an hour out of the city.
Very good idea. About how long would it take us to get through the sewer? General.
Myron says, 20, 30 minutes.
Okay.
Unless you run.
Okay. That's a very good idea. Does the sewer dump directly into the river?
Yes, ma'am. That is by design.
Fair. How deep is this river, do you know?
In the middle of it, probably about 20, 25 feet.
Pretty
The
deep.
river's not really an issue.
No, well, because see, if the sewer dumps directly in, that means that we're going to have to get a bunch of people to swim across.
Or
Or,
I can handle that.
oh, what could you do?
Mavari will blink at Laurel very, slowly. Really?
She can redirect the river. We literally just saw her do that.
Okay, look, you don't do it all that often. I forgot.
Also, we
that.
were kind of busy, but I see where both of you are coming from.
I'm not an idiot.
I can show you where.
Sir, how far is Olympia from here? Do you know?
Yes, ma'am. It's roughly 2.5 days.
2.5 days with children walking.
You're right. 3 days.
It's probably closer to 4.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to provide them with adequate food and water.
Don't worry about the food and water. I can use Goodberry for that.
Okay.
I can cast it up to 4 times a day
Oh, okay, good.
on first level spell slots.
Such weird
Going higher.
language you use.
Yes, yes.
Such a wise culture.
I have 4 little tiny dragon spirits that float around me that I can grab and make berries out of.
That's terrible.
3 slightly larger ones, but it won't produce any more berries than normal. 2 even larger ones, but again, won't produce any more berries than the small ones.
As long as food is taken care of.
While everybody's talking, Mavari is gonna look for a corner of the room that's unoccupied.
Yeah, it's decently easy to
Okay,
find.
and I'm gonna make my way over there. Don't follow.
All right.
I
Just gonna
will.
make our way up.
a lot of the people here are kind of huddled in groups, and they might look up at you and then kind of like make a couple of comments about you, but then they'll just go back to their normal
Yeah,
conversation.
Mavari doesn't care. She's gonna go sit in a corner and like meditate, try to communicate with Phoebe.
Right. Do you make any sounds? Do you sing?
She is gonna have to talk out loud to get a response so anyone around could hear.
Nice and creepy.
Yeah, that's my goals.
Sing it out loud.
No.
Alright.
She is, though. Don't lie to me.
She's not singing, she's talking. Phoebe, I hope this is the guidance you were trying to get us to come and help Sparta. They want us to take their kids to Olympia, but I don't... Is it safe to go? Is it wise to go?
And your eyes are closed as you do this,
Yeah.
right? Alright. So, you hear, safe is relative. These people around you couldn't do a quarter of what you've done. You've done so much in such a small amount of time. It's sad that this is what the world looks like. I wish I could show you what it looked like once upon a time, and someday I hope to. But I look around this room, and these people, they look like death incarnate. I used to see them walking around, and they looked young until the day they died. They were glowing with happiness, no worries, no sickness, no invasion of creatures from some other plane of existence. It's just sad. It hurts.
That was really cryptic, but also not helpful.
Hypnotism.
You almost hear a smile. Where you're going is considered safe. Probably. Have you ever heard of someone named Persephone?
No.
She is an Olympian by birth, but she does not follow their practices. She walks a very confused path, but she watches over all kinds of people. She loves the springtime the most. Olympia is where she currently resides, and in her spring, which is what it is all the time there, she keeps creatures like this out, and she also keeps Olympians out. They leave her alone, they leave her in her space. I believe you would be safe there. Her husband, he's a fickle one, but he usually doesn't go there unless something very bad has happened.
Is this what y'all want us to do? You sent us to Sparta, but I'm not sure what we were meant to do here.
You hear kind of like a heavy sigh beside you, and she says, I want you to get away from here. This place is on the brink of death and destruction. You are one of mine, and I share with you what I am, but I can't protect you if they come in here. You and your friends mean a lot to us.
Then we will do as we say and get them out.
Thank you.
And Mavari will open her eyes again.
You don't see anybody around you, but you see beside you the imprint of where somebody was recently sitting and like moved the dirt.
Mavari will stand up and regroup. And Phoebe says that Olympia is safer than here, and that we should go.
Okay.
Also, I lied. Pass without trace, I can get all of the people.
Nice.
It's what, 30 feet?
How dare you lie?
It's 30-foot radius,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a 60-foot sphere. As long as they're within 30 feet, and there's 128 spaces in a 30-foot radius.
We could just put you in the middle.
Yep.
Very well. Then we shall take the people to Olympia. Did
We
she
need
say
to
what we could?
What? Go ahead.
No. I was just going to ask, like, did she say, like, is there like a town or a city or?
There is a place there.
Okay.
It's well guarded, so it would seem.
Excellent. Soldiers?
She didn't specify that part.
Cryptic. Very well.
We need to get actual directions to Olympia before we set off. Whoever has the better sense of direction, should ask for directions. Not me. Maybe like Blouts or you.
What kind of terrain is it?
Myron
That's
says
where you
it's mostly grassland. There's a little bit of desert area between the mountains, but it's mostly grassland. A little bit of forest as you get more towards
Zeltra will pull out of the bag the creepy +1 plate that we have and ask both Mavari and Laurel if you guys aren't. This is also magic armor. If you guys aren't using the magic stuff that I gave you, I can change one of them into into a thing that'll always tell us the direction, so we know where we're going.
Like a compass?
Yeah, but magic. So it works.
Okay. Well, as much as I love the armor that you made for me, I'm willing to sacrifice it if it's, I think it's a lateral move, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take this scary looking plate armor. I'll change into it when I have some privacy.
Okay.
I'll
need
have...
one.
I was about to say,
believe-
I don't have it. It's... Tyr has it.
Yeah, I
The
believe.
+1 ring? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Or the ring for the magic item?
Yeah, I believe Tyr has the spell storing ring.
Oh, yeah, because he said he didn't want me to get rid of it.
He kind of pulls his hand back a little bit and he says, "It's my ring.
Oh,
You
no,
can't have
it's
it.
his
It's mine.
precious.
It is. It's my precious."
I'll also have +1 plate armor.
And Myron will roughly draw like a small little mountain. He says this makes up the west side of Sparta, and then he draws like a little river going along. He says this is what you're gonna take to go up northwest, and then there will be probably about a quarter of a day walk west from there. You'll go through a little bit of desert, some grasslands. You hit another river. You can follow that up north and northwest and then west, and then I'll lead you straight into Olympia.
Desert's gonna be the biggest part.
Yeah.
How many days is it total?
He said
2.5
Yeah,
normal.
but we got kids, so about 3.5, maybe 4.
I can cast the ability to sneak better about thrice per day.
I'm not really worried about sneaking at certain spots. I'm more worried about the terrain and getting them through it.
We're going to actually need, supplies.
I
And
don't think they have any to give.
We have some, we just don't have a lot of food mostly. Or water.
Do you have
Or
wood? Like,
He kind of looks around at the tables.
that you're not using? Destroyed? Broken? It doesn't need to be in good condition. I can fix it.
I mean, yeah, we have a lot of empty rooms here because, a lot of people are dead. You can use the wood in those rooms.
I'll go get to work.
will it be faster? Someone's helping you. I can help you. It's wood. It's not metal. I can figure out how to hammer a nail into some wood.
Unfortunately, I don't think they have box springs. It'd be really funny if I could make something big enough to hold the boat and then just drive it on land. But
No. I'll
The first ATV.
I could figure out how to, like I said, I could figure out how to work a hammer and a nail. I don't know anything about smelting or anything like that, but I'll help you if it'll help everything go faster.
it will help everything go faster.
And
We just need some stuff to put these kids on because I don't think they're walking and having even just a little bit of help will help.
If we're going through a desert, I've never traversed a desert myself, but I heard that it is very brutal. It's very hot, and water and staying hydrated and cool is paramount. They don't have a lot of food and water. We're
Hold
going
on.
to
I
have
might
to.
be able to help with the desert.
You might.
Tyr says, "Don't worry, I can make an insight check to get us across the desert better."
Oh,
What?
I don't know how, but uh-oh.
I'm pretty sure that was a joke.
Now you know how I react every time he brings it up.
That could be.
I'm gonna insight this sand so good.
Yeah, it's like what?
That sand
Are we
is
gonna
hot.
ask it? What?
That's saying hottish.
Watch your
What are
feet.
your intentions, Mr. Desert?
Cover your toesies.
Seltra, what can you do to help get through the desert?
Well, a desert is sand, right?
Yes.
I could probably replace if we are able to make something like a sled.
Mm-hmm.
I could make sails out of the sheets that aren't being used, and then we could, if anybody has any sort of wind spell or a horse, it's easier to drive. It's easier to move with a sled through sand than wheels. Is my point.
Oh. Well, that's very clever.
But it would just be something that we would need to replace. So depending on how much stuff we have, I would be able to build. I'd be able to build something, and hopefully it won't take forever, since it's just wood shop. It's not really like a robot.
I've never done this before, so you will have to direct me. But then again, I mean, how hard could it be, really? Famous last words.
Please don't say that.
Famous last
Don't say
words.
that.
I have a compilation of YouTube videos I think you should
I
watch.
know, right?
It's by
I
Phil
just have
Army.
Patrick just have a nail. I don't like a wood through my head.
Wind spells, you say?
Yes.
I'd have to rest before it's Nova.
Well, we wouldn't need it until we get to the desert. But
Okay.
yeah, we wouldn't need it till we get to the desert, but we can use it to push the carts and kind of guide them. Anyway, I guess time to get to work.
Indeed, I'll help. So me and Seltra are building whatever he wants to build. So he's gonna have to direct me.
All right. Mabari, Blouts, Tyr, what are y'all
If you
doing?
guys want to help me, it might make this go faster.
I will assist using.
Tyr talks about borrowed knowledge as he... Yeah, Tyr will go with you and help.
Mavar is gonna gain some information and gather up some supplies while they're building whatever they're building.
All right. As long as it's not something essential to survival, like rope, nails, clothes, stuff like that, then you can just really probably have it, unless it's just not available in this area.
Yeah,
But what kind of...
I'm gonna be
Oh, sorry.
looking for things that could be used as beds, backpacks,
Okay.
cloaks, or sheets. So that when we get to the desert, we might just be able to use a sheet to cover up the sun a little bit, because that'll be a bad part. Even if they have empty water canteens, we could grab those, because if we hit the river, we'll be able to get some water and clean it and everything.
I have purify water as a spell.
Yeah, so empty water canteens that aren't being used.
Myron will actually tell you that the battle that they were preparing for was actually a naval battle. So they have backpacks prepared, and they actually have cloaks in there with beddings, and they use the cloaks kind of both as a cover and blanket at night on cold nights, a lot of times when they're doing long marches or when they're in a different territory. And they have wine, or they have skin flasks, like animal hide flasks that they use attached to the backpacks. So most of that's actually like good to go.
We have enough
already.
for everybody, women and children.
It looks like there's enough for at least 5,000 people. So yeah,
Perfect.
well, most of them won't be using it because they did.
Yeah, so
Only in the
make sure
literal
that-
sense.
As far as food goes, we'll have to figure that out ourselves.
Yeah, you can tell like some of these backpacks, or all of them, I guess, they've been opened and like stuff moved to the side or pushed aside to get to what food or spare rations might have been in there at some point. But just stick it back in there, tie it back up,
Yeah,
Okay.
Mavar is also gonna look over like women and children, check for any form of diseases or wounds that might hinder the fight or the journey. So she's gonna look over that too.
The kids are all kept like treasure boxes, so they're perfectly fine. Some of the women, 3 of them are actually pregnant and very much showing. And he said that there was others that were pregnant, but these are the ones that are showing the most. So that you might think that they might be in their last trimester, but you're not exactly sure how well that's going to go. Well, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. You have medicine, don't you?
I do.
Would you like to roll it?
Sure. Mavari is trained in the field of medicine. Oh, natural 20 for 27.
Done this before, I see. Okay.
Yeah, she's a licensed
Uh,
midwife.
Yeah. She's like, don't worry, I could have this done in 20 minutes flat.
I don't think you do nothing about birthing no babies.
So, you think that they're pretty close, and if there was a lot of stress put on them, then it could complicate the situation. Or if the journey became rough, or anything like that, storm, maybe even, like a large storm, if something happened, then that would complicate the situation. But for the most part, they should be okay, although a little extra care might have to be taken. The desert will be a problem. But you think with the whole sled idea, it should be alright. Other than that, no diseases. Oh, wait, that's not a disease. Hold on. I don't know how to fix that.
I don't know how to fix that.
Darren, Seltra, do something.
Seldra just gathering beds and other wooden things that aren't being used and sheets.
Same.
Like having LFD drag them because he's not strong.
I'm just carrying them.
She's like got all this stuff in her arms, carrying it as Seltra's like, this wood, it's heavy.
Seldra, this is an A-frame.
Just pick it up for you.
His arm pops off.
Oh.
Oh, get that for me.
You put that back on. I'll pick it up for you. Don't worry about it. I'll pick it up for you. Don't worry about it.
Let's carries in a pile of
So,
broken
are
wood.
you wanting to...
Go ahead, Doug.
That's fair. I was going to say, are you wanting to build it all right now, or kind of build it in pieces so it's easier to build later? Like, how do you want to do it?
I will build it in pieces so it's easier to build later because we do have to walk through the sewer, and I don't want to walk with a bunch of carts that may not fit.
Yeah. I was wondering if you wanted to IKEA this shit.
We're gonna flat pack this bitch.
Don't write an A on that one. That one's B.
He's gonna mark them so that this goes here and this goes here. Make this real easy, real simple for whoever has to do it.
Yeah, remember to leave like one extra bolt in there just to confuse people.
Seltra, unlike IKEA, will actually label it as spare bolt. So...
Yeah, it always gives you a miniature heart attack, and you're like, look around.
You're like,
where did I put this?
Like, oh no! Oh no!
It's fine.
Immediately collapses.
Oh yeah. All right. Did y'all still want to scout the sewer before you take off? That's a weird sentence.
I think it might be smart to do.
All right. Good news. Unlike a certain banker, you don't have to beat it with a rock during a thunderstorm. You can just straight walk down it. You'll have to hunch. It's only about 4 feet high. Well, some of you will have to hunch. Other ones, you might have to actually be in the muck. How tall are you again, Blouts?
6'1".
Oh yeah, that's gonna be terrible. Seltra's what, 5'2", 5'6"?
5'4".
Damn, right around it. Okay.
You were like right between them.
Yeah. So I mean, he can hunch and be okay. Blouts slightly more comfortable. I think everybody's kind of short. How tall is Tyr?
He's 6'3".
Yeah, I'm like, ain't Tyr tall?
Okay,
Oh,
tall
yeah,
is
he's
Tyrish.
6'3".
Blouts and Tyr are the two tallest people when Laurel's not in werewolf form.
He's got white robes on. He may have to, like, see y'all later.
He's gonna stay here.
Yeah, he's like, oof. I don't know about this shit sewer thing.
I don't know about these Spartans. I don't think we should help them anymore.
I'm not getting in that suit.
He's not Siggy.
He's not Siggy.
It's no one's fault but Tears for wearing all white.
We're wearing more than just all white.
He is literally only white.
His entire color scheme is white. I had to draw him.
Oh, it's gonna be. Oh, he's not gonna come out looking very.
Belcher's a grease monkey, so he's probably not gonna look too different.
Blouts is taking off his coat.
That is kind of funny. Like, take it off, fold
Would you
it
like
up.
to put it in the bag
put it
of
away.
holding?
Yeah.
Okay.
His pants are usually covered in blood anyway, so they used to be purple. They are not.
Aw. Meanwhile, Mabari just kind of trudges along in her robe of death.
He fits right in.
Yeah, it's just, she doesn't care.
You see the sewer kind of staying away from her.
The sewer water parts like Moses.
I love that because that just means that's how everybody should avoid her.
I mean, she is a scary looking creature.
And
then she's like...
And stinky.
Aggressively friendly.
Yeah, it's really funny because she's scary, but she's only like 5'3" and maybe 90 pounds.
Soaking
Small.
wet.
Yeah.
I've met some scary little women.
Everyone's wearing
one kid
armor and the
cursed.
bar's in a dress. Oh.
Alright. So you guys scout. You see that it does kind of drop off into the river. It looks like it was dug out, and then it kind of just drops off into this angle that's at the back of the cliffside. Or I guess the side of it. It is more of like a about a 70-degree angle. So it's not exactly straight down, but you can see that it's mostly covered from a sky view, so you will not be seen if you drop off. But if you swim out, any might or might not be seen. And you can hear fighting in the distance, but it doesn't seem like it's nearby. You don't see any demon activity. Do you want to do anything else before you prepare to take off? Do you actually want to have a long rest, or do you just want a
I
short
would
rest?
very much like a long rest.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think
A
we should
full
rest.
long rest.
Yeah, a full long rest would be great.
Alright. I will say you actually have no idea what time of day it is because the sun's just blotted out. But, I mean, a long rest, you don't exactly have to be sleeping. So you can just sit around for a long time, and then, boom, long rest done. So do you all want to do anything? Do you want to rest just so that you have, so that you're fresh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because whatever you do, Myron's going to tell the other people about. Like, if you sleep, he's going to go tell them, hey, everybody, try to get some sleep. You're leaving, in the next 10 hours.
Yes.
Okay. Let's get a vote from Tyr. Yes. Okay, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys long rest. You wake up. You see a lot of the stuff has been prepared by soldiers who are not actively fighting yet. It's very quiet. People are silent. People are studying you, judging you, sizing you up, entrusting the basically future of Sparta with you. So you got a lot of backlash. You got a lot of pushback. You got a lot of talkback. You got a lot of attitude. But you kind of see now that if something happens to you and these children, Sparta will become a part of history very shortly afterwards. So you guys, do you want to do anything before you leave with their fate?
I'm making sure I have all the stuff that I need prepared.
Yes, Blouts, you changing out your spells?
Yes, sir. I've got Gust of Wind prepared.
And Tyr changes his skill to be whatever he's going to use today, and he will answer that another time.
And I was able to make those They're makeshift cart / sleds, but as flat
Yes.
pack furniture.
I mean, you're a skilled artificer who made a walking robot that looks like a spider and does damage. So sled, that's a hard. Now, Laurel, for funsies,
Yeah.
will you give me a dexterity check?
Yes, I
Don't
can.
worry, I got you.
I don't know if you will. Oh, a dexterity. Oh, it's not a saving. Oh, well. All right, baby. Flat roll. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
7.
7. Somebody's cart is gonna have a surprise with it.
Is this good?
Ernie.
I think I did it.
Just imagine Laurel wrote the wrong attachment number on it.
Attach this
Why are you
piece.
putting the handle on the
7th.
bottom?
I think that's good.
Oof.
I think I did what he asked me.
Let's see.
Of course, you did wonderfully.
I think that is everything. I don't have wind spells, unfortunately. So, or any means of propulsion, which is stupid. Anyway.
Just blow really hard.
Oh. I can magically harness darkness to. No, I'm kidding. Alright.
I mean, use that when the kids are acting up.
Oh no, kids, you're starting to act up. Oh no, here comes shadow demons. You better start behaving or they'll eat your flesh.
That's just mean because of how real it is.
That's why I did it.
Damn. These poor kids.
Nah, they're fine.
You want to end up like your parents? What?
Damn.
She won't be for long.
Alright. So they get these kids ready. They give them the soldier backpacks, but with some of the supplies taken out of it. And then they just tell you good luck. The general comes down.
Take care of yourselves. And I hope to see you again sometime.
He holds out his hand to Laurel.
Hopefully we'll meet again. We'll do our best. You can guarantee that. And I take his hand back and I shake it. Good luck, General. I know you don't know who he is, but may Torm protect you, brave warriors.
We'll take any advantage we can get, so I appreciate it either way.
Right. Are we all ready to go?
Yeah.
Ja.
Whew.
You see a lot of the kids are like just scared, not responding, just looking at each other, looking at the soldiers around them, looking at you guys. You see some of them kind of like crowd behind Blouts because he's the biggest one. And then you see like, do you ever see like dogs, videos of protective dogs and how children will hold on to the dogs? That's kind of like what they're doing with Genielle. Like they'll have their arms outstretched and have their hands on the side of Genielle, and he's just looking up at you.
He's a protective boy.
Some of them you can see they have red eyes and like tears in them just out of fear.
I don't have enough jingly mushrooms for them.
Alright. Who's leading this? Should I wait?
Well, Seltzer, you have all the dinosaur hides in your bag.
Yes.
Let me just check something. We don't have a ton, but we could drape some of them over the kids just to help make them feel more secure. So the most scared will get one of the 6.
Well, we gotta make sure we get. Let's just get out of the sewer first.
Yeah.
We don't want to smother them. In
What? You
filth.
don't?
I will. I'll lead the way. I'll lead the charge.
What's the
Although
consistency of the sewage?
It's not great. So, it doesn't look like it's been used a lot here recently. Because, it's more about the momentum, if you know what I mean.
I was hoping more if it was
And
more,
there's
if it was like water. Is there water or is it just gross?
It's just
Got it.
gross because it's been long enough that the water has actually dried up out of
Got
it. Yeah, so it's more swampy, but shit.
Yes.
Oh,
Quite
I
literally.
thought you were just saying like you forgot.
No.
Like, yes.
No, it's like you leave footprints
Ew.
in
Ugh.
feces. Thick, swampy shit.
Ew.
We can clean up afterwards. Who gives a shit right now?
Mavari's gonna stick next to Bloutz since he's like an automatic air freshener.
Yeah, he's stuck smelling like
True.
fresh berries and honey, so
Everybody's around Bloutz.
he'll be in the middle because he a detection starts happening because he can cast Pass Without Trace and get people in it.
Actually, you know what? Here's what Tyr's gonna do. Tyr's gonna use Shape Water, the cantrip. Actually, no, because there's not really much water left in it. Never mind, I was gonna say he just moves it as he steps.
He casts Shape Poop.
But, yup. No, I don't know. What's that dig spell?
Mold Earth?
Oh, is it actually dig? Nah, Mold Earth. He doesn't have that. It's fine. He'll tell me what he did later, because I'm sure he has something up his sleeve to avoid the
doo-doo
shit. Yes.
Could be.
Alright, how are you transitioning from the sewer to the river?
Mavari?
Mavari is going to leave over by where she is by in the middle with Bloutz and like push through to the front. So once we get out to the sewer, we're right by the river, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is it high up? Or is it just meets into the river?
It's not high up, it's probably about a 7-foot
Ooh.
drop.
I'll get down. And then I'll Mavari. I can help the kids down, but I'm gonna have to be taller, if you know what I mean.
It drops right into the river.
Yeah, they can. We can actually just let the kids jump into the river to clean themselves off after that.
They might get swept away.
Well, that's why we just wait by it to grab them as they jump down, dip them in the water so they can clean up, and then set them on the side.
A 7-foot drop is not a gentle fall, whether you're falling into a river or not.
Wait, it's
Like ye old toilet, you will go
Wait, it's
on.
Water
7
is
feet.
soft.
I'm a little confused. It's 7 feet from the sewer to the top of the river, not the riverbed. Oh,
Yes.
Okay. Well, either way, I can
Sorry.
be taller if I need to, and then I
Good.
can help the kids down.
If Bloutz and Laurel are basically just catching the kids so that they don't fall... How deep is the river?
It's pretty dark, so you can't. Well, you have that dragon sight, so I guess at this point, from the surface of the river to the bottom of it, where it drops off, it's about 7. It's about 12 feet.
About 12 feet deep?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I actually have a swim speed, so if I jump in first and just swim, I could help guide them. And Seltzer can walk on water, too.
Thought that Mavari was going to move the water out of the way.
Yeah, I can move the water. It's just getting them from the tunnel. Because, like, does this tunnel go right into the center, or are we on the bank? So, like, one edge.
You're more towards the bank, but not very far from
Okay,
the center.
so the center of the river, would that be deeper, or is it all just 12 feet deep?
It looks like it would be deeper.
The center is deeper. Got it.
Yeah, you can't see the bottom of the center.
Okay, so...
Mm-hmm.
Mavari will go first.
Before
Mavari leaps into the river.
I just
You know what you didn't look for?
just watching.
Rocks?
Creatures.
Oh, that's
Rock.
worse.
Yeah.
So, as you jump into this river by yourself, the lowest hit point in AC person, you're absolutely fine. I mean, the river is pretty still. It is decently clean, but it's river, and you can see. I'll say with dark vision, you can see through water decently. Okay, although it kind of hurts your eyes a little bit, but you can see against the bed wall of the river that it is a dirty river.
I just imagined that Mavari dove into the water and then like some giant fish came and ate her.
Mavari will, like, stand there and, like, look up So it's from the top of the thing down to where the river is a 7-foot drop, correct? So
Yes, ma'am.
controlling the river to where it parts so that everyone could walk safely across should be fine. We just need.
Wait. So it's 7-foot drop from the sewer to the river, and then from the river to the waterbed, or the riverbed, is 12 feet. So if you part the river, that's a 19-foot drop. So then if people jump, they ain't gonna make it. Come on, little Timmy.
Because what I can do, Mavari, if you part the river, I'm 11 feet tall if I need to be, and I'll be able to catch the kids a little easier and set them down. They're just gonna have to. They're just gonna have to push through the fact that I might be just a little scary, but maybe you can convince them that I'm just a really big fluffy dog.
Hold on, how much space is here?
7
Like
feet.
width?
In the sewer?
Oh,
About
3
3 feet.
Gosh.
what are you trying to do?
I was gonna try and build one of those carts. I could use levitate, and we could just elevator them for 10 minutes.
That's kind of fun.
Okay,
we could
hold
probably
on.
do that with the water.
I can't levitate. I can't do that with the water,
If
unless you're talking about you.
What's up?
if Seltzer can walk on water with his ring, right?
Huh?
If I use a 3rd level spell slot, I can cast Water Walk, and if Seltzer and Blouts or Laurel is on top of the water because of Water Walk, she can literally just catch the kid, because she'd be able to reach up there from a 7-foot tall drop, hand them to, say, Seltra. So I think I can cast it on someone else.
To go down after Mavari with some of the stuff to make one of the carts, and I'm gonna do my idea with the levitate and just make an elevator. I can lift up to 500 pounds.
All right, so you're
I'll
hopping
hop
down.
I can just
All right.
walk.
Okay.
And then I'll assemble my one of the IKEA carts without the wheels, and use levitate on it, and then raise it up to the exit.
I'll help the kids on.
All right. So you guys create the world's first elevator. And just kind of mosey these kids up and down for a little while. I mean, it's 500 pounds. It's a sled, so even at 3 each, it's not going to take you that long. The question is there elevator music?
I'll have
Randall.
Randall. I'll have Randall play some lo-fi elevator music.
Oh, that's rough.
If y'all can fly, he'll fly with the elevator and sing in Draconic.
These poor
The throat
children.
singing.
Okay.
Jeez.
Just this horrifying elevator music.
These kids are all coming down with their hands on their ears and then just like happily going underwater, just like diving in.
Sorry.
They start just jumping on their own. All right. So you guys get all the kids ferried, elevated down. Are you gonna go ahead and make the boat?
Are we making a boat, or are we making a? Or are we taking them on land?
I was scared. I thought we were doing directions for the cart. That's how you told
We
me to
were.
number them.
It was directions for a cart.
Okay.
So
All right.
we got to get them out of the water now.
Okay.
Easy.
Bavari, could you split the water now? I don't think we'll drop. Won't we just kind of just gently? I don't know how this works.
Since everybody's now on the water and everything,
The kids just start swimming to the riverside.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, why don't we just get them
all
all
of them can swim? Or I can't swim.
Wait,
Well, that's
Bavari
can-
can't swim.
Oh. One of the little kids offers you a hand.
He's got the meanest doggy paddle.
Mm-mm.
He just goes,
Come on, lady. This is
So it
Spartan.
kicks you down.
Dylan shotgun blasts the kid.
Mavari's gonna wander over to Genielle and ask for assistance.
oh.
He doesn't
Danielle
speak common.
just looks confused. He's flying above the water.
Yes.
Say no without saying no.
You know what? F it.
I mean, you could just get LFD. He can guide you.
Or
There's-
get any of the swimming characters.
I
Or
was
you
gonna
could ask
ask,
for-
like, I could just help you.
You want to get on my back? I'm walking.
Ooh.
He's walking.
I don't think you're strong enough to carry Mavari.
How heavy is Mavari?
Mavari,
How strong
yeah,
is
how
Seltra?
strong is Seltra is the question.
It's not negative. He can
What's
piggyback
your
a
strength?
regular 10.
He could piggyback her, just don't make it difficult.
Seltra,
Do you
if you-
walk?
Yeah, because I was going to. Yeah, I was like, Blount, so I just cast Water Walk on Mavari. She looks like she's
Because Water
struggling.
Walk is a high level spell. If she really needs the help, I can just give her the ring and sell.
Yeah, I was also going to say that. Why don't you just give her the ring?
Isn't it an attunement item?
Let me see.
I just want to note that Mavari is one of the most powerful people
No,
here,
It's not.
and water is the problem.
She's like
It has
Sonic the
been-
Hedgehog.
It has been pointed out multiple times that Mavari has an issue being on boats.
She also had a nightmare
Belcher
about
will
it.
take off the ring of water walking and then just kind of like fall into the water and hand it to Mavari.
Mavari will put it on and be like slightly propelled because it was a little deep.
She's like a opposite turret. She just goes. "Bloop."
I grew up on the beach. I know how to swim.
All right, I feel like that took a little longer than it should have to figure out a very simple math problem.
Listen, I just
You see one of the pregnant women lean over to one of the kids. We're not gonna make it.
if she whispered away from everyone else, the only person who heard her was Mavari because Mavari can lip read.
It's like cheating, just for the record.
Not my fault. It's what the feat says.
Wait, it's not my fault. You
I
picked
did,
it.
but I picked it for a different reason.
Pick something stupid like, I don't know, knowing what direction you're always facing.
Oh, that's an item. All right, now
No.
let's go. Now that we're on land, let's put together everybody in the party. Help us put together this flat pack. We labeled it so
Yes.
everything should be, so it should be pretty easy to just snap it right in place.
Yes, indeed.
Well,
Why is
that's-
this one mislabeled?
I know it's my handwriting. I'm like, no, it's not. It goes like that.
This does not build into a small cart. This builds into a trebuchet somehow.
There's no.
No, that
I
really
mean,
does
I've
sound
helped
like
build
a
the trebuchet before. Maybe.
Oh, no, seriously, come look at these instructions. You made this into a tiny trebuchet.
There's no. I'm like looking at it and like, well, damn.
Laurel, make a deception check.
Can I make an insight to counter it?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Oh, deception. Of course, not my best stat. Of course, it wouldn't be. Hold on.
You're a charisma character. You
I'm
got
a
this.
wisdom character.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna get
Oh
me
shit,
beat.
that ain't good.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no, she convinced me.
Are you serious?
Okay, I'm sorry.
I
Laurel,
got
what'd you
an
get?
8.
Blouts, how'd you do?
6.
All right. So Laurel, everybody's like kind of onlooking this. Everybody knows you're lying, but Blouts, for whatever reason, is looking at the item and he's like, I mean, I guess.
I guess it would work.
Yeah, because the whole point was to like take the kids and just launch them to Olympia.
Was it?
No, it
He looks
wasn't.
to Seltra.
Seltra just like shaking his head. No.
I just start laughing.
It's not a terrible
Blouts.
idea.
Blouts, I'm messing with you, man.
Why did you design it to be a trebuchet?
It's not a trebuchet, it's a car. I just mislabeled it.
Seltra, did you have some real instructions? Because
Yes, Seltra just like put it in the right spot.
Blouts, you mess with me all the time. I'm allowed to.
the name of it's not even the same. This one says Hafsasgog,
I
and this
just
one says Jungle Skog.
I
I
know.
can't find so labeling is very bad.
I'm sorry. I've never done it before. I just mislabeled some things. But I think my other carts are fine. Maybe. I assume.
Tyr says something intelligent and sarcastic.
I don't need your sarcasm, Tyr.
We don't need your
He laughs
unperceived sarcasm since we don't truly know what you said.
Unperceived sarcasm.
Somehow it's still accurate.
All right, let's finish up these cards. Mavari, and the other women, if you please, could you, I guess, make sure that everything that isn't pieces of a cart made it across, as far as like supplies and stuff are concerned.
Yeah. Mavari's also gonna start filling up water, even though we know it's gross. You can clean water; it's fine.
Yeah, I can hold on. Once we're done with this, I'll go ahead and purify it.
Like Mavari's filling all the
The women
canteens.
say if you wait a little bit downriver, it's perfectly safe to drink.
Well, could also have like parasites. So
To kind of look at each other. I don't know what that is.
go ahead and Seltra will pull out one of the empty barrels that we took from that one house. Put it in, just dump it all in here, and I can purify it all at once.
Wait, how do you have an empty barrel? Where did you pull that from?
The bag of holding.
He
Twice
took an empty. He's had that empty barrel forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, so
You don't remember him having a conundrum of how he's gonna fit it in, and then he just like, oh nope, it worked.
Hex key broke. So
I mean, this would feed, or not feed, it'll quench a lot of people's
It'll have to
thirst
go on a cart,
for
because I'm pretty
couple of
sure a
days.
barrel full of water is going to weigh more than I can fit in that bag.
yeah, Mavari's not strong enough to fill a barrel of water.
Oh no, just with the water bags that you guys have, just dump it in the barrel and I can purify it all at once.
Okay, start doing that.
Other women will help.
And thankfully, Goodberry feeds and, well, it gives the essential nutrients and anything required for a day, unless you're in a desert. But
Nope. Just so I'm clear, your intentions are to float down the river, right? To boat it up?
I thought we were following the river on a cart. That was what the flat pack cart was for.
Oh wait, one cart for all
Oh,
those
no.
people?
No. That's why we.
I believe it's a caravan of carts.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Laurel's pulling one, Blouts is pulling another.
Danielle's pulling another.
We can summon a horse. We don't need
Yeah.
Laurel to pull a cart.
No, I think because if there's multiple carts, we need multiple people pulling different carts.
Got it.
Yeah, you got a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So LFD.
We're used. Yeah, Danielle
LFD.
pulling one. We have, I think, 5 total if the horse is summoned to pull carts.
yeah.
And that would we have about 50 people total. So if
Mhm.
each one has 10 people,
That's 5 people.
How do we have 5 things to pull carts?
D,
A horse?
Danielle,
Yeah.
horse, Laurel, and then Blouts.
Blouts can pull a cart?
I have a 21 strength.
He's a strong
before?
boy.
Yeah, I used to do it all the time.
Got it.
He's like one of those Asian palanquin people.
Oh.
A rickshaw.
Shit's on his resume.
Oh, okay.
Shit's on his
I just
resume, yeah.
I had to make sure. Okay.
He got
Lamar-
rickshaw.
Mavari and Tyr are just like, okay, I guess we can't help pull carts.
Yeah, Tyr just sits down in a cart without saying anything. He just sits there and waits.
Seltra will ride on the horse.
He pulls out a book and starts reading.
How wide is the path that we can walk on?
If you're walking beside the river, it's as wide as you need it to
Okay,
be.
so we can have about 2 carts
But
next to each other with like a V formation.
the only thing I was going to say is as you move through this area, stealth is the key. So I wouldn't take up too much space or do anything that would be too wide. What is the radius of Pass Without a
30-foot
Trace?
radius sphere.
And how many people?
As many can fit in a 30-foot radius.
Okay, then yeah, you could be at the peak of the V and should be able to hit everybody. On that note, let's see how y'all do. Stealth checks with Pass
Which is
Without a
plus
Trace.
10.
And I am going to roll the kids. Oh my god, they all got average.
That's crazy.
They all got a 5. Yeah.
Damn, bro, that's crazy.
And because of Pass Without Trace, we do not leave trails behind either.
Oh. Weird.
It specifically said
Does that count carts or is it like feet?
any tracks are veiled and removed.
Alright. Cool. How'd y'all do?
I got a 31.
I got
32.
16.
Damn.
I got a 17.
Nice. Alright. Oh, Tier. Wait. Hold on. He's got a roll. Whoa! Nat 20, that's crazy. Way to go, Tier. Alright, now that's out of the way. So you guys start following this river northwest and making your way towards Olympia. It is dark. The sun is blotted out by these demons that are circling above, preparing to kill everyone in Sparta as you travel away with their children and their wives and who they consider the most important people in the city. And you can kind of see the sun in the distance where the demons stop kind of circling above. And you can see some of the children while they're being quiet right now because of the situation, whether it's fear or just the way they're raised to be quiet around adults. They are just watching the sun, and you can see some of them have a little bit of hope in their eyes as you take them away from death. And we are going to end it there. See you next week.